want the Richland, mister? There it is. Mister, you have to stand over there.
I am manager. Baron, did everyone get out safely?
Yes, Baron, yes. Good. Right. Come on. Mr. Rostovsky? Baron Rostovsky?
Yes.
I was Great Western Casualty. We hold the insurance policy on the Chicago Richland.
If you are trying for quick settlement, answer is no.
No. Look, that's not my intention at all. The policy shows that Kane Cabot Bank of Boston holds a mortgage on the Chicago Richland and all the Richland hotels. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, look, my name is Osborne, David Osborne, and I think we may be of service to one another.
Your chief. Yes, I have. Please, the taxi comes straight building.
Talk to building inspectors. We're looking at a total loss here.
You are looking at total loss. I am looking at a great building site for a new hotel.
Yeah, well, look, this man the police have in custody for arson, Desmond Pacey. Now, he used to be manager here, am I right?
I fired him.
He's confessed. Now, it's almost like he wants everyone to know he burned down the Richland.
He wants me to know. This is his way of having last word in hotel management.
Well, it's a rotten shame. Do you understand that the real beneficiary of his crime is going to be Kane Cabot? See, they're going to collect this insurance money. They're going to sell off the rest of the Richland hotels and this site. They're going to come out of this with a very nice profit.
But I still got time to find the investor with $2 million. I have idea who can help me.
All right, you got quite a reputation. Don't you think that's a real tall order with the mood of investors in this country right now? Think about it. You know what's going on out there.
If they are all in the same mood as Mr. Kane, I would like to see that Harvard boy hung by the neck.
Well, amen to that.
Why, you know him?
When I saw the name Kane Cabot on the insurance papers as the mortgage holder, see, I thought I'd put the memory of William Kane behind me forever. Good riddance.
You do know him.
All right, this is in strictest confidence. I'm supposed to deal with the insurance company's business with complete impartiality, all right? William Kane was once my stepson. Now, see, his mother, just the loveliest creature in God's creation. Anne. And she was dear and sweet, and she was beautiful. Her first husband was lost on the Titanic. He was a wonderful man, I mean, not at all like his son. So I wanted to start a whole new life for her. I would have, too. But dear young William, he just couldn't stand the idea of a rival for his mother's affections. Well, he got his way. The anxiety that he created, the tension, it killed her. I mean, literally killed his mother in childbirth and our baby. Yeah, I know him. William Kane killed my wife and my baby.
A habit of his.
And once Anne was gone, well, there was just nothing left I cared about in Boston. And a whole lot I didn't. So I left. I came to Chicago, tried to put it all out of my mind. And then this.
Well, he didn't get rid of me just yet, my friend. Or you.
The New Yorker, Providence, New Haven, and New York is now boarding on track 11. New Yorker, Providence, New Haven.
Welcome back to Boston, Kate.
Bag and baggage. I didn't realize when I started packing what you'd look.
Oh, it's wonderful, and it's nothing to go back for.
No. Not a thing, Willie.
Do you have misgivings about the Stevens Hotel, Mr. Rosnowski?
Oh, no. I would have built it across the street, closer to lake. That way, entrance would be out of the wind.
Well then, aside from the problem with trying to keep the doorman's hat on in January, what do you say?
Mr. Maxton, a year ago, your offer to join you here as manager of world's largest hotel, I would not even dream of such opportunity. But now, I am sorry. I must say no.
Would you mind telling me why?
Because I am now owner of Richland Hotels. You see, Davis left me hotels as act of fate. I am therefore determined to rebuild Richland Hotel and make others into shape. All I need now is money to buy back the mortgage.
And what did the banks say?
Banks. Banks are busy trying to save their skin. But it does not matter, because I decide. Go to fellow hotel man for money. I decide, go to you.
Me? But I'm a competitor, Abel.
Yes. So, let your competition make money for you. Better than letting me steal business at your expense. No?
Just how much do you need?
2 million.
Could we have some more coffee here, please? $2 million. A lot of money in these times. A lot of money at any time. Besides, it might appear to my shareholders to be a conflict of interest.
Mr. Maxton, I know what I can do for you. Or to you. 2 years, 3 at the most, I can show you $1 million profit on your investment. If you ask me, that should more than clear up any conflict of interest. Insurance settlement will more than cover rebuilding of Chicago Richland. And I know what has to be done with other hotels to make them profitable.
Thank you, Sophia. Just leave the coffee here, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
Sophia. Sophia. It is me, Abel Rosnowski. You remember me, yes?
Well, Mr. Rosnowski, I've enjoyed our lunch. And I must admit, I'm very impressed by the sheer audacity of your suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Maxton. Oh, Zoshu, it is so good to see you.
And you, Władek.
So many times I meant to call you, even in New York.
But you didn't.
No, I forgot. But I never forgot how lovely you are.
After that, I worked for 2 years at the sausage factory of my uncle. But when he died, my aunt sold business to pay so many bills. So I took job at Stevens Hotel. What about you? I read what happened. What are you going to do, Mr. Famous?
It is not nice to tease fellow countrymen when he is out of job.
You be German, you be Ruski. What's a little fire to Polish baron? Hmm? Here.
Will I see you again, Zoshu?
Are you sure you want to be seen with Polish girl who's only waitress? What will the people say?
They will say that Abel Rosnowski is with a very beautiful Polish girl. For one evening on the boat to America gave him a happiness he has never known again since until today. May I see you again?
I am so proud of you. You don't know.
Oh, I think that's them over there.
Where?
Oh, good shot. That's a set. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. William! Hey!
Kate, I'd like you to meet Matthew Lester, who already has more lady friends than he needs, so pay no attention to anything that he says.
Oh, Kate. Excuse me, I had to do that. You're the first thing that's taken William's mind off banking since I've known him.
Hello, William.
Hello, Susan.
I'm spending the month with Matthew.
Yes, I heard. Susan, I'd like you to meet...
Gives me a chance to see what the two of you are up to.
Susan, this is Kate Brooks.
How do you do?
Hello? Excuse me. I'll call you.
Yes, of course.
I should challenge you to a set of singles. She'd never look at you again.
Which is why I'm taking Kate for a holiday to England. Just to be safe.
You realize this is the first I've heard of it.
Oh, he'll love it. He'll treat you to all the sights. Anything, that is, you can see from the window of Kane Cabot's London office.
Well, the truth is, Alan Lloyd has asked me to look at some development property that Tony Simmons wants the bank to invest in.
Now, you see, isn't that romantic? To William, love is just an item in the ledger.
Well, we won't go into that, Matthew.
I think you're both impossible. I'm going to catch up with your sister, Susan.
I wouldn't do that. Susan's been madly in love with William since she was 13.
Well, it's bad enough putting up with this athlete as a friend. He'd be impossible as a brother-in-law.
Excuse me.
I think you could have told Susan that when she was 13, don't you?
It was over long before you and I met, Kate. Never really began. She was just my best friend's kid sister, that's all.
She's still in love with you.
Will you come to England with me?
Do I have any choice?
Your message said you wanted to talk to me about mortgage on hotels.
I suggest that you sit down, Mr. Rosnowski.
But I still got 2 weeks left to come up with money.
I have been contacted today by a party who will put up the entire $2 million to clear Davis Leroy's debt with Kane Cabot of Boston and put the management of the Richland hotels back into your hands.
Who?
Well, I'm afraid that poses a bit of a problem.
What is problem?
No, Mr. Rosnowski, please, if you'll let me continue. The lender is prepared to offer you a 40% interest in the Richland hotels, representing $800,000 out of the $2 million as a loan, which you must repay within 10 years.
I can do it in 5, but
well, that
who
being
is
the case,
giving...
you'll be pleased to know that there will be an option in the contract which will allow you to buy the entire hotel group back within the same 10-year period for the sum of $3 million, which will give the lender a $1 million return on his investment. There is, however, one stipulation. Since the investor believes that his involvement in this situation might be construed as a conflict of interest, he insists on remaining absolutely anonymous.
Conflict of interest. That's David Maxton, the owner of the Stevens, right?
Mr. Rosnowski, please.
It's David Maxton.
Please, please. There will be a stipulation in this contract that you will never make any attempt to discover the identity of the lender involved in this transaction. No, that must be perfectly clear. Yeah, and agreed to.
Tak. I start rebuilding Chicago Richland now. Maxton saw what I did here. Wait until he sees what I do with others. I will make gold mines out of them. I will build Richland hotels all over country. I will make David Maxton his million profit before he can spit twice. Oh, damn. Why Davis Leroy couldn't have been here to see this? Why?
Yes, Mr. Wisnowski.
I thought you would like to know that I have been able to raise the money required for me to take over ownership of Richland Group. Therefore, there will be no necessity for Kane Cabot to place hotels for sale on the open market.
Thank you for keeping me informed, Mr. Wisnowski. And, may I wish you every success for the future.
Which is more than I wish you, Mr. Kane.
I thought we were going punting on the Thames.
I don't see any river.
That's what I'm talking about.
You end up getting wet feet and blisters punting on the Thames. What'd you think of Tony Simmons?
Competition.
You show $1 million profit this year. That's a record for the London branch.
He talked to me about wanting to come back to Boston.
He'll probably run for chairman when Alan Lloyd retires.
When will that be?
Soon.
You'd get my vote.
Too bad you're not on the board.
This is called spooning on a blanket.
Just my luck. I traveled 3,000 miles to do a little punting, and I end up with a spooner.
Wait! Don't move!
What is it?
We've been in England for 2 weeks, and this is the first time we've been under the same blanket.
Newspaper says the new Richland is going to be bigger than ever, according to manager and new owner, Abel Rosnowski. Why don't they call you Baron?
A lot of people don't believe it, I guess.
I believed it even when you were Wodek. Remember?
Yes. Zosiu, I want to show you something. But I am changing whole entrance and lobby. There will be shops along this side. Elegant people, of course.
Yeah, of course. No riffraff, please.
Oh, and I have called Jerzy. You remember?
George.
I am bringing him here to work with me. I need to have old friends around me.
Abel? Abel, dear, what a lovely surprise.
Hello.
No, please sit.
Zofia, this is Miss Leroy, her father.
Miss Leroy? Why, Abel, I'm sure the young lady wouldn't mind if you call me Melanie. What's this? Ah, yes, I see by the papers that you're going to rebuild the Richland. Daddy would like that.
I already started.
Abel, when you're down at the Dallas Richland, you just have to give me a call. You never got to see our house. You must stay with me. Kind of, home away from home, you know?
I don't think Zofia would appreciate homes away from home. We are getting married. We come to America together. We are both immigrants from Poland.
Well, anyway, I'm glad you're going to have another try at making something out of the Richland Group.
You know what? Not Richland Group anymore. I am calling it Baron Hotels.
Very impressive.
I thought you would like it.
Gary, I'm famished. Let's go.
You asked me to marry you.
That is the way it sounded to me.
Do you love me, Władek?
I thought it was decided on the boat. When we traded our virginities. I will make you a good life. And this is the first. There will be others. Many others. Who knows how many?
Turn on the ignition.
It's on. It's such a sweet little car to do this to us.
It knows we're Americans.
Well, since we've already established at tea time that we're not married, and since they only have one room in the inn, what would you suggest we do at bedtime?
Well, I suggest we get married.
Because the car won't run.
Well, we're two healthy Americans stranded by an obstinate English car outside a romantic English inn with only one available bed. What else can we do between tea time and bedtime?
William, the Episcopal Church requires all kinds of stipulations and waiting periods.
You didn't spot the notice pinned up inside the door, did you?
What notice?
Well, according to the notice, the most pressing requirement of the parish church is a new roof to the amount of 150 pounds.
Are you suggesting bribery?
I'll bet my entire banking career that 150 pounds is exactly today's going rate for a special dispensation.
Seems a lot. Am I worth it?
Every shingle.
Are you all right?
That thing.
It's called a geezer.
A what?
Geezer.
How do you know that?
The lady who brought breakfast said so.
Well, whatever it is, it's not working.
Shall I call and have someone come and fix it?
Oh. No. not have happened. If a car had started. I mean, he only married me because the thing wouldn't go.
Whatever makes you think I turned on the ignition?
Dan, this has to be the high point of your life.
It is only just starting, Daddy. Stick with me. You enjoyed the ride.
This way, sir. Smile. Thank you.
You say, thank you, thank you. This is the proudest day of my life, and I am glad it is in Chicago.
Aren't you proud, Major? If you told me right-hand man had to wear a tie, I'd never take this job.
First of all, let me give credit where credit is due. The reason this new hotel, the Chicago Baron, rose from the ashes as fast as it did is due in large part to my friend and your honorable alderman, David Osborne. And let me add, if my guess is right, and I have never bet on loser yet, we will be calling Alderman Osborne Congressman Osborne after next election. I have another reason to be proud today, a very personal one. Please. Yes. This is my wife, Zofia. And this is future hotelier. And you are all invited to christening. I want you to know that the Chicago Baron is only first of many like it. One day, wherever you travel, around the country, around the world, you will always be at home in a Baron hotel. And when you check in, tell them you were here on the day it all began. Tell them you are a friend of Abel Rosnowski, the Baron himself.
So where'd you lose your dog?
The war.
All right, Matthew, that's enough. Let's go.
Hey, shove off, mister.
Just go away. Come on, let's go home. Come on.
Are there any women at your place?
Yeah, plenty.
Hey.
Why, Matthew? Tell me why. Up until a year ago, you were one of the finest men I ever knew. What's the matter?
Hey, do me a favor, will you? Find him another place to flop.
Come on.
Florentyna, czego żądasz od Kościoła Bożego?
Wiary.
Wiara, co ci daje?
Żywot wieczny.
Florentyno, ego te baptizo in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Amen. Och, jaka piękna dziewczyna.
You are not disappointed it's not a boy?
How could I be? When she is so beautiful. Oh.
vote for the new chairman. Simmons, Kane, Simmons, Simmons, Kane, Simmons, Simmons, Simmons.
Well, gentlemen, my last official act as chairman of the Kane Cabot Bank, I give you my successor, Tony Simmons. Congratulations, Tony. Thank you. Thank all of you.
Congratulations, Tony.
I think I'm as surprised as you are.
Yeah.
William, I appreciate you not using your name as stock to sway the vote. Thank you.
Well, perhaps I should have. No, I think we made a good choice. You'll have my full support. You voted for Simmons, didn't you?
Yes.
I wish you'd voted for me. Well, I wish some of the others had voted for me, too. Still too young, too unorthodox in my thinking, right?
In part, but there's another problem. It hurts me to have to say this to you, William. But they don't understand why you won't admit there's something seriously wrong with Matthew. Unless something can be done about his drinking, there's going to be a demand for his resignation.
If Matthew goes, I go.
I admire your loyalty, but it won't help him.
Your friend Matthew is a very, very sick man, William.
Well, it must be help. I mean, I've heard some of these retreats they have for alcoholism can be quite successful.
I'm afraid alcohol has been his retreat, William. Matthew is suffering from Hodgkin's disease. Apparently, he's known he's had it for over a year now. It's an inflammation and enlargement of the lymph nodes.
There must be some treatment, a specialist you can recommend.
Matthew has already seen the best men in America and one in Switzerland. I can only confirm their prognosis. There is no cure, none at all. Matthew has, at the best, maybe 3 months to live.
Why didn't he tell me?
He didn't even tell his father. Well then, if you need me, I'll let myself out.
You know what the biggest problem is with being a great athlete, like I am? You know, the biggest problem is seeing your tennis game go all to hell.
I'll beat you again, kid.
Anyone could beat you if you didn't make such bad line calls.
Oh, you found me out.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I'm gonna hate leaving you two. If you've got one friend, you're lucky. I've got two. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world.
Yes, sir.
Lorcia, wait for your father.
I got you. You thought you'd get away from me, didn't you?
You listen to your father now. New York is a very big city.
Yes, Mama.
Your papa is going to build a big, new hotel just for you. What do you think of that? Ah.
Remember now, you must listen to your
Call
father.
me. Let me know how things are going here.
What is the matter? You do not trust me? It is not like it is the first time you have been away.
If I couldn't count on you. Okay. Let's go.
Come with us, Mama.
Next time.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
On the train.
Hurry, hurry.
I think I have a very big rival, Gergely.
A father and a daughter, and such a daughter you have given him. You cannot blame him.
I meant the hotels.
Ah, hell.
Abel Rosnovsky and my stepfather. Just exactly what is the connection?
Well, what I could find out, and this is mostly rumor rather than hard facts, Rosnovsky put up most of the money and a lot of it to get David Osborne elected to Congress. The relationship goes back to when Osborne was on the Chicago City Council.
Osborne and Rosnovsky. You know, one thing they do have in common is me. Your father knows the history. Osborne hates my guts for having exposed him, and the Baron is convinced that I caused the death of his best friend.
Look, William, I know all that, but there's a more immediate connection, self-interest. Osborne's been helping the Baron along the way up. Rezoning of building sites for the hotels, juice with local politicians, you know, that sort of thing.
And he was paid off, believe me.
Well, if so, he didn't report it. All he shows on his returns is additional income, is the fee he receives as a member of the Baron Hotel's board of directors. The congressman might be guilty of tax evasion.
Exactly. Thaddeus, I want you to keep at this. I'd like a full report, say, each quarter. Or sooner, if you find anything that seems urgent, you will.
William, it happened so long ago.
Kate, I have reason to be concerned.
Yes. It's New York, sir. The Lester residence.
Thaddeus, thanks for coming by, especially the weekend. We'll be in touch.
Charles Lester?
We've been dreading the call. He's been going downhill since Matthew died. Does William have reason to be concerned?
Nothing we can prove.
How bad is it?
They don't expect him to last the night.
Listen to me, William.
Don't try to talk, just rest.
In my will, I have named you to succeed me as chairman of Lester's. Chairman, in my will.
All right, Mr. Lester, not now.
You must listen. Very important, William. I want you to be chairman.
Should have been Matthews.
Yours. Always knew that, didn't you? You all were.
I'm sorry, Susan.
It's a big occasion. On bardzo ważny człowiek. Very important man.
Ja wiem, Czojciu, wiem. I know.
I remember when he was manager of only one hotel.
I wish it could still be that way.
Zosiu! Zosiu! I thought you would be ready. Plane is not going to wait, you know.
I didn't realize the time.
We'll ask driver to get the bus.
I just have a few last things to pack. I do not want to go.
What do you think people will say if you are not there for opening of the hotel?
They will not even notice.
I will.
You don't like dress. I will buy you another.
It is not a dress.
Zosiu, wait till you see the penthouse. It is like being on top of the world. You look out at night, and all New York is at your feet.
I think I would be a little uncomfortable on top of New York.
You are my wife. I want you to be there.
Why not?
Because you do not need me there, Abel.
Of course I do.
No, not any longer. I think it is better if we are separated.
Separated? What are you talking about?
How long since we spent time together alone? How long since we have made love? You are married to your hotels. To people like David Osborne, who make you feel big and important. Too important for me to keep up with. And when I try, I always feel like I am failing you.
Everything seemed so perfect. If you were so unhappy, why you...
I kept hoping it would change.
I admit I should spend more time at home. I'm sorry I miss dinners. And whatever. But hotels are my dreams. And they are our future. You always want to stay here. What is it you are so afraid of?
That I can never be what you want me to be. And you can never be what I want. Not any longer. So isn't it better if we separated? Please, Abel. Try to understand.
Zosiu, come with me.
Marvelous dinner, Peter. I can't thank you enough. And for your support.
My honor, William. Really? First to entertain the next chairman of Leicester's.
Don't think there'll be any trouble there.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly. Now, we have 3 or 4 dyed-in-the-wool New Yorkers on the board who think Boston bankers operate out of a shoebox.
Well, I realize Charles Lester's will isn't legally binding. The board can vote any way they want.
That's right. But I think I can swing it for you. Just give me a few days to fly your credentials. After all, I am a vice chairman of the bank, not to mention the stock I own. You just go on back home. Leave it to me. I'll call you and let you know how it's going.
Do you think I should talk to Ted Leach myself?
Leach has had his sights set on the chairmanship for a long time. He's going to fight you anyway. Talking to him won't change that.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Mrs. Parfit. Thank you again. There are two reasons I'm talking to you, Mr. Leach. First, Peter Parfit advised against it.
What's the second reason?
I think Charles Lester was very fond of you.
Charlie Lester was one hell of a man.
Yes, he was.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Kane. In the first place, I would give my right arm up to here to be chairman of Lester's. Second, I wouldn't think of going against Charlie Lester's wishes now or ever. Have we got that straight?
We've got that straight.
If you go back to Boston, you might as well stay there. Parfit is rounding up votes for himself for Thursday's meeting.
You know, he told me it wasn't going to be till next Monday.
That's so on Monday he can call and tell you he was elected chairman last Thursday.
Mr. Leach, correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the bylaws, an emergency meeting of the board can be called with 24 hours' notice. As one of the board's two vice chairmen, you have the authority to call such a meeting, am I right?
Never been done before. There's always a first time.
Will you?
Provided you know exactly what you're going to do with that meeting.
Gentlemen, I asked Mr. Leach to call this emergency meeting, and I want to thank you all for coming at such short notice. You're all aware that Charles Lester stipulated in his will that I should become the next chairman of this bank. Of course, I realize, as you do, that such a bequest is not legally binding. But when Peter Parfit here assured me he would support me for the chairmanship, I was overwhelmed.
I invited Mr. Kane to dinner before a group of you gentlemen persuaded me to toss my hat into the ring.
Which came as a great surprise, I'm sure.
Excuse me. I take exception to Mr. Kane's insinuation that there's some sort of conspiracy afoot here. The only conspiracy I sense is in the suddenness with which this meeting was called. The same sort of impulsive act performed by Charles Lester in bequeathing the chairmanship symbolically to an outsider through some vague sense of loyalty to the friend of his dead son.
I was with Mr. Lester to the last, and he didn't appear to be a bit vague.
And I was with Mr. Lester for 22 years. The last 6 as vice chairman. Gentlemen, since we have been summoned to this election in haste, I can only ask that we now act with the calm reason that our stockholders expect of us. I am confident they will applaud your vote for experience and continuity over the whim of a beloved but distraught and dying man.
I resent that, Mr. Parfit. I resent that for Charles Lester's memory. He was a great man. A man of vision. A man not given to whims. Now, as for being an outsider, as Mr. Parfit calls me, Charles Lester and I shared a lot of plans and dreams over the years. In fact, I even had the audacity to tell him that I could see the day when the Lester Bank merged with Kane Cabot to create one of the country's great financial institutions. Now, Lester's is a great bank. If given the chance, I can make it even greater.
Mr. Kane, since you are not a member of this board and have no vote, I suggest you leave us with the matter.
8-4, Mr. Kane. You're the new chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I asked him to let me tell you myself, not because I'm the oldest serving member of the board, but because I didn't vote for you. I voted for Parfit over an outsider. But I want you to know that I'll resign and give you a free hand, Mr. Kane. No worry.
Well, I wish you wouldn't, sir. Give me 6 months, see if I can't change your mind. I need you.
You've got a deal, Mr. Kane. I guess I can stand 6 months of excitement, even at my age.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Bill, congratulations. You pulled it off. I sort of thought you would. Damn fine speech.
I'll accept your resignation before the end of the day.
What? Oh, now, wait a minute, Bill.
Address it to William Kane. You'll receive 2 years severance pay if I don't have your resignation by 5. You're fired.
Oh, William, it's beautiful.
Are we really gonna live here?
Well, that's a general idea.
Why?
Well, for one thing, your father has a very important new job, and it's here in New York.
Look, kids. Your mother and I know how it is. Our moving like this. New schools, having to find new friends, all of it. But the important thing is we're together, don't you think?
Richard?
Where am I going to play baseball?
Hello.
Good
Have
evening.
you not had us,
Hello,
Mr.
good
Kane?
evening.
Yes.
Adam Katz.
Your hotel is
Thank you very
charming.
much. Sir, how do you do? Good evening. Madame,
How do you do?
I would like to present my daughter, Florentine.
Big man.
They put in all the other public rooms.
Yes. Isn't it unbelievable, Uncle George?
Unbelievable.
You really like it? I said I would build this hotel just for you. Florence, you should be in bed now.
Oh.
Come on. You can tell me a bedtime story.
I see you in the morning, Kotku.
Label, you must have half of New York here tonight.
And the other half doesn't count.
However, I do have some news about the other half.
Mr. Kane?
Mm-hmm. The State Banking Commission will approve the merger of Kane Cabot with Leicester Bank at its monthly meeting on Thursday. I don't know yet what the new stock distribution will be, but we know he had to put his 51% of Kane Cabot into the pot. So my guess is that Mr. William Kane will end up with less than 20% of the new combined stock. He's spreading himself thin, Abel.
You know, David, I can see myself getting very interested in bank stocks.
Finally, the moment we have been waiting for, no?
Oh, look, don't invest all your money. I'm going to need another 30,000.
Why? What is it for this time?
You do not build hotels by bricks alone, my friend. If the New York Baron opened on time without any labor trouble, I promised a donation to a certain union pension fund.
Yes, but...
Abel, we're not doing anything your competition doesn't do. Believe me, I know. Can't keep Park Avenue waiting.
Well, gentlemen, here's to the merger of Leicester Bank And Kane Cabot.
Lester Kane Cabot. Well, I'm grateful to you, Tony, and you, Ted. I couldn't have done it without you.
London, Paris, New York, Boston, and who knows where else by next year.
If that man in the White House stops meddling in the war in Europe.
Henry's bringing the car around now, Tony. He can drop you off on the way to the airport if you like.
Thanks, Kate. Oh, I remember the days when you were both courting in England. Now you're a family.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. It has just been learned that Pearl Harbor and the Hawaiian island of Oahu have been attacked by Japanese air and submarine forces. Carrier-based Japanese aircraft in large numbers carried out an early morning attack on the American fleet and nearby military and naval airfields. The White House has announced that President Roosevelt will address a joint session of Congress tomorrow morning.
President Truman officially announces the end of German resistance.
This is a solemn but glorious hour. I wish that Franklin D. Roosevelt had lived to see this day. General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations.
I thought you were terrific, Richard.
Oh, thank you. At least I've got 2 fans.
You'll be the first Kane in history to enter Harvard with a music scholarship and a 400 batting average.
I had to say hello to 1 or 2 friends. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, what do you think of our new Pablo Casals? Wasn't he marvelous?
Oh, you were good. Very good.
Thanks.
Can you have dinner with us? Father's counting on it.
Sure.
Richard, I had a talk with the headmaster. He thinks you have a good chance at the math scholarship.
Dad, I was 9th in class in the midterm.
Well, we just have to knuckle down, won't we?
Not right now, all right?
Your grandfather did it, my boy.
And you. Family tradition.
I have to admit, Susan, I'm rather shocked.
Shocked? I find that hard to believe. I mean, you went through the whole war. All those battle scars, a Purple Heart. You come home to be shocked by little Susan Lester.
If I'd had any idea that you wanted to dispose of your stock in the bank, I would have been happy to discuss it with you.
Ample opportunity, William. The war's been over nearly a year. Time does go by, doesn't it?
This isn't like you, Susan.
Damn you, William. How like you to say that. How would you ever know what I'm like? Oh, hell. I quit crying over it a long time ago. You see, I lost you. Then I lost Matthew. Then Father. It may seem strange to you, William, but I just don't give a damn about this bank anymore. So I sold my stock.
To whom?
What does it matter? I had suitors lined up waiting to buy it. You should have called.
The transaction was actually handled through Consolidated Trust in Chicago. But it doesn't really matter. The results are the same. Susan Lester's 6% holdings of stock in the bank now belong to Abel Rosnovsky.
You'll have a hard time getting hold of any more.
You know, of course, there is still one large block held by an outsider.
Peter Parfitt's 2%. Now I've had a standing offer to buy it at twice the going price. I went as high as $1.6 million for it. He'll never sell, and not just to me. He's getting too good a return on the stock.
Well, there you are. That's probably why Rosnovsky wanted Susan's shares. He knows a good investment when he sees it.
If I thought $1 of the bank's dividends was going into David Osmond's pocket.
Any luck with Parfit?
He just won't sell.
I think he looks on his lousy 2% of Lester Kane Cabot as some kind of noose he has got around William Kane's neck. What about Osborne? Did his tip check out?
Yeah. The new airline certified by the government is Atlantic International Airways, and Kane's bank is the main underwriter.
Start buying Atlantic International stock, all you can get, out of my brokerage account. Mr. Kane is going to get himself partner in the airline business.
Okay, but the new airline could be risky.
Yes, for Mr. Kane.
Fact is, Rosnovsky owns 6% of Lester Kane Cabot's stock. He only needs 2% more to demand a seat on the board. Now he's bought 1 million shares of Atlantic International Airways, perhaps more. Why? Sudden interest in our bank, William, and in a company whose stock we've just launched.
Yes?
Jack Thomas to see you.
Send him in. What's it look like, Jack?
Want the worst interpretation?
Why not?
The bank is the majority underwriter of the Atlantic International stock. If the investor you mentioned dumps his 1 million shares into the market, it's likely the fall in price could cost us $5 to $6 million to correct, if it could be corrected.
If?
Atlantic International Airlines is a new company. The aftershocks of a maneuver like that could be a prolonged taint on the stock for investors.
I'm sorry, William. If this is some sort of personal vendetta between you and Rosnovsky, I...
Thank you, Jack. Abel Rosnovsky still holds me personally responsible for the suicide of Davis Leroy. When Kane Cabot foreclosed on his Richland hotels back in 1930, you remember?
Oh, that simply isn't true. As I recall, you recommended against foreclosure.
I already told him that then.
Why not tell him again?
No! It's out of the question. Besides, it's gone beyond that now.
Look, William, this whole thing has to be costing the Baron a fortune. Who knows, he might be glad to shake hands and get back to building hotels all over the world. William, he lives at the New York Baron. Give him a call.
Settle it. Right now.
$50,000.
Yes, 50,000.
I will not pay it.
Then I tell the boys to forget the power line variances. Of course, you'll have to open the Houston Baron in the dark.
I am paying you as a director, my friend, and then some. It is your job to see the lights go on. Now, if you need the money for that, fine. But if I find out you are putting some of it aside in case you don't get re-elected to Congress, the government is supposed to take care of your pension.
Sorry you feel that way. I'm only trying to do my best.
It is William Kane. He says he wants to talk to you.
Mr. William Kane wants to talk to me. Hello?
Mr. Rosnovsky, this is William Kane.
Yes?
Been a long time.
What do you want?
I understand you've become a substantial investor in both Lester Kane Cabot and Atlantic International Airways.
Did I?
I thought it might be to our mutual interest to get together and discuss it.
Mutual interest? I tried to discuss our mutual interest years ago.
Well, I'm sorry, there has been a mistake about that. There's something you should probably know, and I'd like to discuss it with you.
Listen to me, Mr. Kane. I got enough Atlantic International stock to make more trouble for you than you have ever seen. And I am going to get enough of your bank stock so I can walk in there and throw you out myself. Not today. Not tomorrow. I want you to have time to worry what I am going to do. I want you to think about Davis Leroy and how you killed him. Or think about your mother and how you killed her out of greed and spite. And don't tell me you didn't, because I got your stepfather right here next to me. You want to talk? Here is my answer.
That man is insane.
Curtis Fenton at Consolidated Trust must have told you.
I do not think he would do that, Abel.
How else could he know about the stock?
I want you to investigate every deal those two have pulled. Anything, everything you can dig up. Bribes, payoffs, tax evasions, anything. And I don't care what it costs. He mentioned my mother with that bastard in the same room.
I want you to go to Chicago tomorrow. Close every account we got with Consolidated. Everyone.
You should speak to Curtis.
Just do what I tell you. Mr. William Kane is not going to sleep 2 minutes worrying. I am going to break him until they bury him. And I am going to enjoy every minute of it.
Let me tell you something to put in that article of yours. We Poles don't give up easily. How can a country that staged a cavalry charge against the might of Nazi tanks ever believe they are beaten? And I promise you, Poland is not beaten now.
Can I say that the building of a Baron Hotel in Warsaw has become the most important goal in your life?
Second, most important. First will always be the happiness of this child, my daughter.
Papa, you can be so corny sometimes.
Forgive.
If you and Miss Rosnovsky would please follow me, sir.
Yes. Keep in touch. You hear anything on Atlantic International Airways or Mr. Kane?
Try and have a good time. Both of you.
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
See you when I get back.
Miss Rosnovsky, what will you be doing while your father is opening the Paris Hotel?
Standing right next to him, I hope.
But what about European men?
Well, I think they're very attractive. I've been living with one for years.
What is that? Schoolwork?
Heaven forbid.
Good. because I want us to spend time together.
I asked George to get me some information on the hotels.
Oh, did you? You're taking over pretty young, aren't you? What about?
About the clothing shops in the hotels. You rent them out, and some of them are fine, but if you took them over, upgraded them, gave them their own label and style, they'd become a sort of fashion trademark for the hotels.
Well, only if we give them all one name. Call them Florentinos.
My name doesn't come cheap.
Anything I can do for you?
No, thank you.
Incidentally, what about men?
I like them.
They're a fast crowd, those Harvard boys, no?
Oh, that's just what the Radcliffe girls say.
Is there anyone special?
Are you asking me if I've become involved?
No, I just wondered.
The answer, Papa, is I'm still very much a virgin.
Florentina.
À gauche, un petit peu. En bas, voilà, c'est parfait, parfait. Alors maintenant, le tapis est épouvantable, les fleurs sont en retard.
On a dit que cet après-midi, les fleurs sont arrivées.
Yes, like that. À droite, to your right.
Papa?
À droite. Yes,
Are
down.
you ready? You said you'd show me Paris today.
Oh, honey, 10 minutes more, that is all.
Maybe I can show you Paris.
No, I promise, j'ai promis, that's not necessary. Thank you very much. Okay, darling.
Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, qu'est-ce que vous avez là? Ça fait 2 heures que vous travaillez là.
Ah oui, dites-le. I am going. Now, don't forget my philosophy. I never want to see burn that light bulb. Hein? Je ne veux jamais voir une ampoule crier.
En levant les vers me frappe et tout mon corps frémit. C'est dans tes rues que je m'échappe, ma chère amante Paris. Quartier latin, Champs-Élysées, ton âme reprend sa vie. Toi qui m'embrasses, ton exilé, ma chère amante Paris. Rive gauche, rive droite, tes plaisirs m'ont séduit. Plein de chaleur après la glace, ma chère amante Paris. Tous les chansons, la foule, les rires, comment te dire merci pour mes amours, mes souvenirs, ma chère amante Paris. Pour mes amours, mes souvenirs, ma joie, ma vie, ma chère amante Paris.
In appreciation of your contributions to the success of the opening of the Paris Baron last night.
Thank you, Papa. Mwah. What's this?
What?
Oh, Papa. You spoil me. But I love it. Mwah. Oh, we do?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, now, you ready to go home?
Do we have to? Radcliffe's going to seem an awful lot like Radcliffe again.
I meant all the way home. My home.
Holland?
When did you hear?
The embassy called this morning. Permission finally came through. We leave tomorrow.
Oh, Papa.
The most beautiful castle in the world. Now you're going to see it was not just one of my stories.
Well, I'm pleased you could get down from school, Richard. You know, it's good for them to get a look at you once in a while.
I always get the feeling they're measuring me to see if I'm as tall as you.
Well, you're getting there. First in your class at Harvard. Right on track. You know, there was a time I was afraid you're going to become a professional cellist.
Or a second baseman.
At least the pay's better.
I was thinking of going on to Harvard Business School after the university.
Richard, the place to learn banking is in a bank.
Well, I suppose so. I just thought I'd explore all the possibilities, you know?
My fondest hope has always been that someday you'll take over here.
Now I am going to show you
Are you sure you're not exaggerating?
the most wonderful castle in the world.
I'll let you know how it compares with Versailles.
Stop.
To jest, Leo. This is Leo. Baron is my father. And this is
Florentina.
This Florentina.
Hello? Is it important? I'll get him. He's in the next room.
Papa, it's George.
No, no, I
He says it's urgent.
Yes, sir, what is it? What crash? What are you talking about?
Atlantic International Airways. One of their planes crashed en route to Mexico City. Bad weather. 17 people killed.
Start selling my stock. Unload all you can. Get rid of it today. I'll be back tomorrow, day after the latest.
We start dumping 1 million shares, there will be a panic. The stock will not be worth $1 a share.
Yes? Good. I am going to give Mr. William Kane his own personal stock market crash. Have you slept with him?
Yes!
You're determined to marry this girl, despite what I've said?
Yes.
He's never to set foot in this house again, never. Not a cent!
You stole an ambassadorship from me, Mr. Kane. I intend to take your bank.